Listen carefully. Most people live their entire lives inside a tiny mental box they didn't even build. Society built it for them. Their parents built it. Their fears built it. And they spend every single day apologizing for wanting more. I'm here to tell you something different. Expand your life. Expand yourself. People always ask me, how do I change my life? And I give them the exact answer they don't want to hear. You change your life by changing who you are first. Your environment, your habits, your income, your opportunities, all of it is a reflection of your internal standards. If your standards are small, your life will be small. If your confidence is weak, your results will be weak. But the moment you decide to expand yourself, your discipline, your ambition, your expectations, your entire world starts expanding with you. The world doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you are. If you want a bigger life, you must become a bigger human being. Stronger mindset, sharper focus, higher expectations, more discipline than the average person even understands. When you level up internally, the external world has no choice but to follow. Opportunities start finding you. People start respecting you. Life starts opening doors you didn't even know existed. But understand this, expansion comes with pressure. Growth isn't peaceful, it's demanding. It forces you to confront your weaknesses, your excuses, your laziness, your fears. Most people run from that pressure. That's why they never expand. But you, if you want greatness, you embrace the pressure. You turn it into fuel. You use it to build a version of yourself that is unshakable, unstoppable, undeniable. Never forget, you are the architect of your reality, not your background, not your circumstances, not your failures. You. If you expand your mind, your life expands. If you expand your courage, your opportunities expand. If you expand your effort, your results expand. Every part of your life reflects the size of your character. So make yourself bigger, stronger, louder, smarter, bolder. Your life expands only when you expand first. It's one of those truths people hear but rarely internalize. Most individuals walk through the world believing their external reality is something separate from who they are, as if success, opportunities, and breakthroughs appear out of thin air. But here's the hook that wakes people up. Your world is not built around your desires. It is built around your capacity. Your capacity for discipline, for growth, for discomfort, for self-control, for ambition. When you expand that capacity, the world begins to rearrange itself around you in ways that feel almost supernatural. Every achievement you dream about sits behind a version of yourself you haven't become yet. People want a bigger life while holding on to the smallest habits. They want financial breakthroughs while keeping the same comfort-driven routine. They want confidence without confrontation, strength without struggle, recognition without responsibility. But the one who refuses to stay small, the one who chooses growth over excuses, the one who demands evolution from themselves every single day, your life expands when you do. And the moment you commit to expanding yourself, the world opens in ways you've never experienced before. The world rewards identity, not wishes. It's one of the most misunderstood principles in personal development, and yet it defines everything you experience. Most people walk around believing that their desires alone will pull success toward them, that wanting something badly is enough to earn it. But here's the first hook that snaps people awake. The universe is not influenced by your hopes. It responds to the person you choose to become. You can want abundance, confidence, and recognition. But if your identity is built on hesitation, insecurity, or inconsistency, life will mirror those patterns right back at you. Identity is the silent engine driving every decision you make. It shapes how you think, what you tolerate, how you approach challenges, and ultimately the results you produce. A disciplined identity produces disciplined results. A weak identity produces weak outcomes. This is why two people can have the same dream, but end up in completely different destinations. The difference isn't luck, timing, or circumstances. It's the identity behind the dream. When you change your identity, your entire trajectory shifts with it. People often try to get ahead by collecting strategies, shortcuts, and motivational bursts. They chase techniques that promise quick success. But techniques can't outperform identity. If your self-image isn't aligned with your ambition, you will subconsciously sabotage every opportunity that threatens your comfort zone. You can read hundreds of books, watch inspirational videos, and repeat affirmations daily. But if your identity still sees itself as average, unworthy, or incapable, your results will match that self-perception with brutal accuracy. Here's the hook that stings. You're not failing because the world is unfair. You're failing because your identity is outdated. You're trying to build a future with the mindset of your past. You're expecting high-level success while operating with low-level habits. It's like running powerful software on a broken operating system. It simply can't function the way you expect it to. Identity is built through repetition. Every disciplined action reinforces the belief that you are someone who follows through. Every avoided challenge reinforces the belief that you are someone who retreats. Every moment you choose comfort strengthens the identity of someone who settles. And every moment you choose growth strengthens the identity of someone who rises. That's why identity is never static. It evolves daily, shaped by the decisions you repeatedly make. If you want success to feel natural, you must first become the kind of person success feels comfortable approaching. Successful people don't chase opportunities. Opportunities are drawn to the gravitational pull of their identity. People respect them because they respect themselves. They are consistent, reliable, focused, and resilient, not because they were born that way, but because they sculpted an identity capable of sustaining those traits. The world operates on signals. Every action you take sends a signal about who you are. Show hesitation, and the world mirrors it. Show strength, and the world responds with opportunity. Show discipline, and life expands around you. Your identity is the broadcast, and your reality is the reception. If you upgrade the broadcast, the reception changes instantly. There's a powerful internal shift that happens when you stop asking, "What do I want?" and start asking, "Who must I become to deserve it?" That question alone can transform your life, because the moment you step into a stronger identity, the identity of someone who earns, commands, creates, builds, and leads, your actions align, your habits evolve, your environment shifts, and your possibilities multiply. The hook most people avoid is this: you can't outperform your identity, but you can rebuild it. And once you do, the world adjusts to match the new version of you. Opportunities you once chased will start moving toward you. Doors that were closed will begin to open. Not because the world changed, but because you did. Pressure is the price of growth. And the moment you understand this, your entire relationship with challenge changes. Most people spend their lives avoiding pressure, treating it like an enemy that must be escaped. But here's the hook that cuts straight through every excuse. Pressure is not your opponent. It is the architect of your evolution. Nothing strong is built without force. Nothing powerful is created without resistance. Pressure is the environment where greatness is shaped, refined, and proven. Every successful person you admire has one thing in common. They learn to operate under pressure instead of running from it. They recognized early that comfort doesn't produce growth. It produces stagnation. When life becomes too easy, you become too average. It's the pressure, the deadlines, the responsibilities, the expectations, the obstacles that stretches you beyond who you were yesterday. Without that stretch, you cannot develop the capacity required to handle a bigger life. Here's another hook. Pressure exposes your truth. When everything is calm, anyone can look confident. Anyone can pretend to be disciplined. Anyone can talk about their dreams. But the moment pressure hits, the moment things get difficult, your real identity emerges. It reveals your weaknesses, your tendencies, your fears, and your limits. This exposure isn't meant to shame you. It's meant to guide you. Pressure shows you exactly where the work is needed, where the growth must happen, and what must be broken down before it can be rebuilt stronger. People often misunderstand pressure as a sign they're on the wrong path. They think challenge means stop. But the reality is the opposite. Pressure is proof you're leveling up. The weight you're feeling isn't punishment. It's preparation. Life is testing your capacity to handle more. Before you can manage success, you must prove you can survive the intensity that comes with it. Bigger opportunities require stronger shoulders. Pressure is how those shoulders are built. When you embrace pressure instead of hiding from it, something powerful happens. Your mind adapts. Your resilience increases. Your emotional tolerance expands. Tasks that once felt overwhelming become automatic. Problems that used to break you start sharpening you. The version of yourself that once collapsed under stress begins to rise in it. Pressure becomes a familiar environment, not something you fear, but something you use. And here's the hook most people never hear. Pressure is a privilege. It means you're trusted with responsibility. It means life believes you can carry weight that others cannot. It means you're moving into territory the average person avoids. Pressure is the signal that you're outgrowing your old life and stepping into a new arena where the stakes are higher and the rewards are greater. Avoiding pressure keeps you small. Embracing it makes you powerful. When you step into pressure voluntarily, when you take on challenges, push your limits, and confront discomfort, you're telling the world, I am ready for more. And the world listens. Pressure, when faced consistently, transforms into strength. The same way weightlifting tears muscle to rebuild it stronger, life uses pressure to tear the weak parts of you so they can be reconstructed with resilience and confidence. Growth is never peaceful. It's not soft, it's not gentle, and it's not comfortable. Growth is intense. It demands sweat, focus, sacrifice, and a willingness to face what scares you. But the reward is becoming someone who can handle what others cannot. Someone who thrives in situations that crush ordinary minds. Someone who uses pressure as fuel instead of fear. The truth is simple. If you avoid pressure, you avoid your potential. But when you accept it, embrace it, and learn to stand tall beneath it, you unlock a version of yourself capable of achieving everything you once thought was impossible. Pressure is the price of growth, and those who pay it rise. Small thinking creates a small life, and most people never realize they've imprisoned themselves inside the limits of their own imagination. They don't need chains, obstacles, or enemies. Their own mindset keeps them confined. Here's the hook that hits harder than anything else. Your life cannot outgrow the size of your thoughts. If your vision is small, your actions will be small. If your expectations are limited, your results will be limited. If you think like the average person, you will live like the average person. Everything begins with the boundaries you set inside your own mind. People often underestimate the power of their thinking. They assume thoughts are harmless, just ideas floating around with no real impact. But your thoughts shape your beliefs shape your behaviors, and your behaviors shape your life. Small thinking leads to hesitation, fear, indecision, and missed opportunities. Big thinking, on the other hand, builds courage, ambition, and the willingness to step into territory others are too scared to enter. Here's another hook. Your thoughts are the blueprint of your future. Build something worth living in. Most people shrink their dreams to match their comfort instead of expanding their courage to match their potential. They tell themselves stories like, I'm not ready, I don't have enough, I'm not good enough, or it's impossible. These aren't truths, they're mental barriers disguised as logic. And every time you accept one of these excuses, you reinforce a smaller version of yourself. You shrink your world without even realizing it, closing doors that were never locked in the first place. Small thinking is subtle. It doesn't scream, it whispers. It shows up as procrastination, self-doubt, hesitation, perfectionism, or the constant need for permission. It convinces you to take the safest path, to avoid risks, to aim for what's realistic. But realistic goals create uninspired lives. Realistic dreams produce predictable outcomes, and predictable outcomes keep you stuck exactly where you've always been. The world doesn't reward the person who thinks safely. It rewards the person who thinks boldly. Every major breakthrough in history came from someone who refused to accept the limitations the world offered. They thought bigger, acted bigger, and became bigger. That same power exists inside you, but it requires one decision. Stop thinking like the version of you that survives and start thinking like the version of you that leads. When you think bigger, your behavior changes instantly. You move differently. You speak differently. You choose differently. You stop tolerating mediocrity in your environment, your habits, your relationships, and even in your own self-discipline. Big thinking forces you to elevate, to demand more from yourself, and to step into challenges most people avoid. It pushes you into rooms where growth is non-negotiable. Here's the hook people try to ignore. Your dream doesn't intimidate you because it's impossible. It intimidates you because it requires a stronger version of you. And deep down, you know it. Thinking big forces you to meet that version of yourself. It forces you to confront your excuses, your fears, your limitations, and the comfortable stories you've been hiding behind. Once you expand your thinking, your world expands with it. You start seeing opportunities you overlooked before. You start attracting people who match your vision instead of your doubts. You start making decisions based on where you're going, not where you've been. Your life becomes a reflection of your ambition instead of your fear. A small mind will always sabotage a big life. But the moment you break free from small thinking, the moment you give yourself permission to imagine more, want more, demand more, the boundaries around your life begin to disappear. You realize the only limits that ever mattered were the ones you accepted. And when you stop accepting smallness, life stops offering it. Your habits shape your destiny. And the sooner you understand the depth of that truth, the sooner your entire life begins to shift. People love to talk about dreams, goals, and visions, but they rarely look at the tiny actions they repeat every single day, the actions that quietly build or quietly destroy their future. Here's the first hook that cuts through the noise. Your habits predict your success more accurately than your intentions ever will. You can want greatness with all your heart, but if your habits are built on convenience instead of discipline, your life will always reflect that weakness. A habit is not just something you do, it's something you become. Repetition builds identity, and identity dictates destiny. When you wake up late, procrastinate, avoid challenges, or spend hours distracted, you aren't just wasting time, you're shaping a version of yourself that cannot carry the weight of the life you want. On the other hand, when you choose discipline, focus, consistency, and high standards day after day, you're reinforcing the identity of someone capable, powerful, and reliable. Your habits are either preparing you for success or preparing you to watch someone else achieve it. Most people underestimate the long-term impact of small behaviors. They think missing a workout, delaying a task, or indulging in distractions is harmless. But life doesn't punish you for one bad habit. It punishes you for the accumulation of them. Failure is not usually dramatic. It's subtle. It's built slowly, silently, through repeated choices that seem insignificant in the moment. The same is true for success. Success isn't a lucky event or a sudden breakthrough. It's the natural result of the habits you've practiced long enough to become automatic. Here's a hook people avoid because it forces accountability. Your future self is living the consequences of your current habits. If your habits are weak, your future will be weak. If your habits are powerful, your future will be powerful. You can't escape the math. Life is brutally fair in this way. It gives back exactly what you invest through your daily behavior. Every disciplined habit is a deposit into your future. Every lazy habit is a withdrawal. Your habits also influence your environment, your opportunities, and the people you attract. Discipline attracts respect. Consistency attracts trust. Growth attracts growth. Weak habits, on the other hand, attract chaos, instability, and people who reinforce your worst tendencies. Your habits are a magnet. They pull the world toward the version of yourself you're becoming. This is why changing your habits is one of the most powerful forms of self-transformation. When you alter what you repeatedly do, you alter who you are. And once you change who you are, your life has no choice but to change with you. There's another hook most people need to hear. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. You can have the most ambitious goals in the world, but if your habits are inconsistent, your progress will remain inconsistent. Ambition without discipline is just fantasy. Vision without action is just imagination. But when your habits match your goals, success becomes inevitable. Building strong habits doesn't require perfection, it requires commitment. There will always be days when motivation is low, energy is low, or circumstances are difficult, but that's exactly why habits exist. Habits carry you when motivation disappears. Habits give you structure when your emotions fluctuate. Habits turn effort into autopilot. The person with strong habits doesn't need to feel inspired every day. Their routine keeps them aligned even when their emotions don't. Your habits are also a form of self-respect. When you take care of your body, mind, time, and goals, you're communicating to yourself that your life matters. When you neglect these things, you're sending the opposite message. Your habits are a daily vote for the type of person you are becoming. Every action is casting a ballot for either strength or weakness, discipline or laziness, progress or stagnation. Your destiny isn't determined by luck, intelligence, or talent nearly as much as it is determined by the habits you practice consistently. If you master your habits, you master your future. If you ignore your habits, you hand your future over to chance. The truth is simple, powerful, and unavoidable. Your habits are writing the story of your life. Make sure they're writing a story worth living. You are the architect of your reality. And the moment you accept this, everything in your life becomes clearer, sharper, and far more controllable. Most people live as if life is happening to them, as if circumstances, other people, and external events are responsible for everything they experience. But here's the first hook that snaps the illusion. Your reality is not built by the world. It is built by your choices, your mindset, and your interpretation of every moment you live. You are not a passenger. You are the one holding the blueprint, the tools, and the power to design the structure of your future. People often underestimate how much influence they have over their own outcomes. They assume their background limits them, their past defines them, or their situation traps them. But the truth is brutally empowering. You are not defined by the life you were given. You are defined by the life you choose to build. Every single thought, decision, response, and habit is laying a brick in the foundation of your tomorrow. Whether that foundation becomes strong or fragile depends on how consciously you shape it. Here's another hook people avoid because it demands responsibility. If your life is chaotic, it's because your architecture is chaotic. If your relationships are unstable, your self-value is unstable. If your environment is toxic, your boundaries are weak. If your opportunities are limited, your thinking is limited. Reality doesn't form randomly. It forms in alignment with who you are, what you tolerate, and what you consistently allow. When you change your internal architecture, the external world must rearrange itself around the new structure. Most people want a better life without redesigning themselves. They want progress without perspective, achievement without accountability, success without self-control. But architecture doesn't work that way. You can't build a skyscraper with the blueprint of a shack. You can't expect a powerful life while thinking powerless thoughts. You can't demand a higher quality of living while maintaining a lower quality of being. Your identity sets the ceiling, and your reality rises or falls accordingly. Every day, you are constructing your life through the decisions you make and the standards you set. When you raise the standard of what you accept, everything shifts. When you decide certain behaviors are no longer allowed, laziness, negativity, self-doubt, distraction, your architecture begins to strengthen. When you choose discipline over comfort, your foundation becomes unshakable. When you choose growth over excuses, the walls of your potential expand. Life cannot give you what your structure is not built to hold. There's a powerful hook here. You're not stuck. You're structured. And whatever structure you're living in today is one you unconsciously built through repetition, thought patterns, habits, and beliefs. The good news is, just as you built it, you can rebuild it. You can redesign the entire internal blueprint that governs your reality. With new standards, new mindsets, new habits, and new levels of self-respect, you can reconstruct a life that reflects strength instead of fear, ambition instead of doubt, and purpose instead of confusion. You become unstoppable when you finally realize that your power does not come from circumstances. It comes from authorship. You are writing the script of your life with every decision you choose to make. You are shaping the landscape of your future with the commitments you uphold. You are creating the conditions of your world with the beliefs you choose to carry. If you carry beliefs of weakness, your world will shrink. If you carry beliefs of strength, your world will expand. Reality follows identity, always. And here's the final hook that separates those who rise from those who remain the same. The moment you take responsibility for your reality, you gain the power to rewrite it. No more blaming, no more excuses, no more waiting for circumstances to change. You become the builder, the designer, the creator. Your reality becomes something you craft, not something you cope with. Everything you want becomes possible when you understand that the life you desire is not waiting. It's being built by you. Every day, every choice, every belief. You are the architect of your reality, and the structure you build will determine the future you live in. So from this moment forward, I want you to stop shrinking to fit the world. Make the world adjust to you. Expand your life by expanding your identity, your hunger, your discipline, your vision. You get one shot at this existence. Don't waste it living small. Rise up, take control, demand more from life by becoming more yourself. Expand your life, expand yourself.